Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Peter Dutton has launched the Liberals' latest policy in Hobart, a $90 million package aimed at curbing domestic violence. His attention also focused on drumming up support in the marginal Lions electorate, as was Labor's, attacking the opposition over urgent care clinics.
It was straight down to business for the opposition's latest election campaign visit in Tasmania, unveiling a $90 million suite of policies aimed at addressing the nation's domestic abuse crisis.
Every time we recommit with new funding, such as we are today, we make the statement that enough is enough.
Criminalising the use of mobile phones to threaten partners and creating a national domestic violence register, just some of the key measures in their 14-point plan.
I hope that we continue to put more support in place and send a very clear message that we don't accept violence against women, young girls, any Australian.
Peter Dutton also casting an eye to local issues. Able Energy fears its $1.7 billion Bell Bay Power Fuels project could be at risk under the Coalition's plan to scrap the hydrogen production tax scheme.
I'm very happy to have a conversation with the company because we want to see investment go ahead in Tasmania.
Labor talking up their Medicare urgent care clinics and questioning the Coalition's commitment to them.
They are not committing to the urgent care clinic in Kingston. They've been upfront that the urgent care clinics, they don't know whether they're going to match them around the country or not.
My opponent still cannot say the word that you will get free access to a GP under a Dutton government.
The second part of Dutton's campaign trip, touting the benefits of its Greater South East Irrigation Scheme pledge. The opposition leader's visit to the Apple Isle and the crucial seat of Lions in particular comes at a critical time for Peter Dutton and the Coalition, who will be looking to court as many Tasmanian voters as possible in the lead up to next weekend's federal election, as the contest for the state's most marginal electorate heats up. Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
Theatre staff at the Royal Hobart aren't showing any signs of stopping their year-long campaign for more resources. Unions say surgeries simply wouldn't run without technicians, urging the state government to exempt them from its public hiring freeze.
An early morning disruption from fed-up hospital staff. A sea of scrubs at one Hobart intersection. Perioperative technicians walking off the job, calling for an increase to the number of current staff members.
In the room, which is called the sterile stock room, there could be potentially only one person when there really should be 2 to 3.
They need to double their workforce. They're working short. When people are on leave, they're not backfilled. And we need to see enough staff so that it can be safe for surgery to go ahead.
Their role to prepare and clean surgical suites and assist doctors and nurses, deemed vital in making sure surgery runs smoothly.
These workers are subject to the job freeze that the government have announced, and it totally makes no sense. These are essential workers.
Unions have been calling for additional staff for nearly a year. The Health Department confirming 8 employees are set to join the team in coming weeks.
We are constantly working with the unions and the administration of the hospitals to work through that. The recruitment of key staff in all areas of our health system is a constant. It's not changing.
As part of industrial action, perioperative techs say they're even willing to stop cleaning theatres. Workers telling 7 Tasmania News the increased staffing pressures are taking a toll.
We're pretty much all worn out. We're all pretty stressed, tired. There's a little bit of sick leave.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
After months of controversial night works, upgrades to a Hobart bottleneck at the bottom of the southern outlet have opened, part 1 of a multi-stage project. The state government hoping the added lane to the outlet will see more people choose public transport or opt to carpool to help ease congestion.
And every time we make a change like this to increase or stabilise traffic flows, we analyse that to see how it affects other parts of the city or the surrounding roads.
3 houses have been acquired as part of the project. Well, the federal Greens are spruiking their forestry policy, promising to end native forest logging practices in Tasmania, following other states like WA and Victoria. Senator Nick McKim labelling it a jobs-positive plan, which would tax big corporations to help fund the transition.
Create jobs in forest management, in rewilding, in firefighting, in sustainable tourism and managing national parks.
Tasmania would receive $4 billion over 20 years. A Tasmanian war veteran locked in a lengthy housing battle after he was evicted from a caravan park he'd hauled home for several years is calling for urgent law reform. Tonight he's sharing his story, hoping to shine a light on the issue.
In 2023, Peter was given his marching orders, told to vacate his caravan where he'd lived for 6 years.
I wasn't happy about it, but I'm pretty fortunate in respect of having been in the army for 10 years that we learn how to handle things like that.
The veteran had few rental rights and he isn't the only one. Currently, Tasmania is the only jurisdiction without specific legislation to protect long-term caravan park residents.
There's no law that covers people who fall through the cracks. If you rent land and you have your own bricks and mortar, you have no rights whatsoever.
A petition to change that has been tabled in state parliament, but advocates fear the process is dragging on.
They feel for veterans, they feel for the elderly. They don't accept what's been happening, and yet we have total silence from the politicians.
Protect people in caravan parks, not just the people, but the owners of the parks as well.
The government says it's currently considering feedback from the discussion paper to understand how it can strike the right balance between supporting the visitor economy and the rights of long-term residents of caravan parks.
I definitely won't be giving up at all, but I just hope sanity starts to play a little bit of a part in this.
Victoria Riso, 7 Tasmania News.
Experts are predicting a record flu season, already seeing a spike in cases months earlier than expected. With today marking the start of World Immunisation Week, there are calls for all Tasmanians to ensure they are up to date with their vaccinations.
Local leaders are getting the jab and encouraging others to do the same this World Immunisation Week.
They'll roll up their sleeves and get those immunisations to protect the entire community and themselves.
It's ahead of what experts predict to be a record flu season.
Well, it looks like it's an early start. We've already seen nearly 800 cases in the state of influenza.
Those over 65 or with pre-existing conditions might be able to get their vaccine for free through the National Immunisation Program. But it's not just influenza that people should get protected against.
To ask their pharmacist, to ask their doctor if they're eligible and due for any other vaccines, especially COVID.
If you haven't already booked in for your flu vaccine, experts say the best time is now.
Hi, Billy. The simplest and most caring thing they can to protect their fellow community members, and that's come into their local pharmacy or their local doctor and get the flu vaccine.
Billy Gibbons, 7 Tasmania News.
Juggling and plate spinning were just two of the activities on offer as dozens of people of all ages gathered to test their circus skills. It's part of an event aiming to foster connections through the generations and remind adults they're allowed to have fun too.
Taking on exciting challenges together, old and young gathering under one roof for a day of free school holiday fun.
We have the balloon making, we have the face painting, but we also have things like drumming, and we have the circus school that's proving very popular.
This is why I like to work in circus.
Council on the Ageing Tasmania's Fun Day aiming to bridge the growing divide between generations.
There's a lot of myths or stereotypes between generations because we're not interacting as often with one another.
I love having adults and kids and grandparents all in the one space, all facing the same challenges.
Previous events in Hobart and Ulverston drew participants in the hundreds.
We know that people are very isolated and a lot of folk are quite lonely at all ages.
People at different waypoints on the journey through life, learning new skills and lessons together.
Kids and adults, if you let them, can have fun in the same ways.
While this is the third edition of Generations Connect, all agree there should be more similar offerings on the event's calendar.
We would love to be able to run these in most council areas regularly.
You can never have enough events like this.
Encouraging all involved to step out of their age group and make a connection.
We always say anyone is welcome, whatever age.
Giving children an insight into the aged and making the old feel young again. One thing's for certain, fun suits everyone. Tom Crosby, 7 Tasmania News.
A gruelling ocean swimming race has been renamed in honour of a Launceston man who died tragically during the Coles Bay Triathlon in February. Scott Anthony was a regular participant in Bichonneau's Devil of a Swim event. This year's edition has dedicated its 5-kilometre endurance race to the memory of the Tasmanian father. A record number of swimmers have entered Saturday's event. With the UTAS indoor cricket net set to close mid-year, local sporting clubs say a new multi-purpose indoor facility is desperately needed.
At the moment, all of the clubs compete for very few facilities. On the Eastern Shore, there is no facility that we can utilise. When it rains, there's no facility for indoor cricket and there's no facility for indoor netball.
Independent candidate for Franklin, Brendan Blomley, throwing his support behind the calls.
The Clarence District Cricket Club is a big club, particularly with female participants now increasing in numbers.
The facility could support up to 30 netball and cricket clubs on the Eastern Shore.
The Tasmania Devils are set to kick off their 2025 Talent League girls season, heading interstate to take on the Sydney Swans Academy. They're ready to make a splash after falling just short in their promising campaign last year.
I think the girls are a bit sick of pre-season and excited to get into game mode, so there's a lot of hype around the girls at the moment.
The match part of a triple header for the Devils, with the boys state under-16s and Talent League sides also in action. Increasing their inside 50 conversion rate is one aspect of the game the Northern Bombers will be trying to perfect on Saturday. Off to a strong start to the season with two huge wins, they'll take on reigning NTFA Premiers South Launceston, who are ready to rise to the challenge.
We're ready. We've got a good, keen young group. They just want to get better, want to keep improving. So, North and Lonnie, they've set a good standard the first couple of weeks, and it's exciting now we get to chase after that.
Bouncing back from first round disappointment with a win over Longford last week, Scottsdale won't be complacent when they face the Blues.
We can't just go out thinking that we're going to win. They're a very hard opponent and we've got a lot of respect for them, so we're going to have to play really well.
Men's and women's matchups this weekend are identical, with the other major clash seeing Deloraine take on Longford. Well, forget the Pies and the Bombers, there could be another Anzac Day sport tradition in the making, with NTFA Division 2 teams Campbelltown and Evandale hoping to make their match tomorrow a permanent fixture of the local footy calendar.
We'd love to be playing on this day every single year, making a statement for ourselves, for our football club.
The two smaller sort of community towns of Campbelltown and Avondale can really thrive on games like this.
Play begins at 1:20 at Campbelltown Oval. Taroona will be searching for their first win of the season when they come up against Kingborough in the Women's Super League on Saturday.
We had a tough game against Devonport last week, but we're finally starting to look a bit more competitive. We're defending well, we're attacking a lot better than we have previously.
In the NPL, the Lions make the trek north to take on Launceston City.
The cup's gone now, so we move on from that, and we've got to focus all of our attention on the league and what we do there.
Kick-off is at 4:45 at Prospect Park.
Good evening. Hobart 7 above average today with 24 degrees. Launceston had 22, Devonport 19 and Burnie 20. The top was King Island again, today reaching 25 degrees. Butler's Gorge the low with -1. Strawn and Grove 24, Friendly Beaches and Flinders Island 23, Bushy Park 22, St Helens 20 and Lowhead a high of 19. Just partly cloudy today with more cover over the north and west. Pine Tree Rivulet recorded 9 millimetres to 4 p.m. A large cloud band extends our way from South Australia. Low cloud sits over southern WA and coastal parts of Queensland. Tomorrow the cold front is right on our doorstep. A low is over the Adelaide region as a high starts to slide in from the west. Mostly west-northwesterly winds tomorrow to 30 knots over the west and south before that front brings in a southwesterly change. A strong wind warning for waters in the south from Tasman Island to Low Rocky Point. Hobart, partly cloudy and 20 for Huonville and Campania, mostly sunny and 22 degrees. Not so in the north, a lot of rain overnight. They'll ease just about time for the dawn service. Launceston 21, 19 for Devonport, Georgetown a high of 18 degrees. Burnie, similar forecast, showers easing, 19 for Strawn, a shower or two for Wynyard and a top of 20. And for St Helens, a shower and 21, 22 for Swansea, partly cloudy for Port Arthur, a high of 19. On Saturday, a few showers, mainly over the west and northeast with light winds. A few showers on Sunday over the west, extending to the south in the afternoon and then to the east in the evening. And on Monday, light showers over the north, extending statewide during the day. Further north tomorrow, and a sunny day in Perth, cloudy weather for Adelaide, a wet Anzac day in Melbourne, a shower or two and 25 degrees in Sydney, showers easing in Brisbane, 33 and fine in Darwin. It's mostly clear in Hobart at the moment, 18 degrees, cloudy in Launceston, 17 currently, Devonport a bit cloudy and 16 degrees. Going to be plenty of rain over the north tonight, Kim, between midnight and 3 a.m, and by 6 a.m. it should be clear for the dawn services in the north, but it'll be clear all morning in the southern parts of the state.
That's great. Big day for our veterans and, of course, for all of us to reflect. And that wraps up tonight's bulletin. On behalf of the entire 7 Tasmania News team, thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.